He's what?
He's a castle.
But why?
I don't know what he's trying to accomplish, to be honest.
This really feels like
If you
Calamity, very Calamity Ganon-esque.
We're here. Hi.
Christmas.
Happy November 1st. Happy...
I won't be stopped.
I'm with you. It is Christmas time. Listen, I should have brought this up in the Discord arguments too for the poll today, and I didn't. We are the only ones who have Thanksgiving next. We're the only ones with Thanksgiving before Christmas, like our country. So like,
yeah,
you can't go to Canadians and be like, no, Thanksgiving first. They already had theirs.
They're already done.
Yeah,
they're already done. And so also like I understand the concept in theory of being like, oh, let's do Thanksgiving before Christmas, but that only to me works in different parts of the country. I had snow today. I woke up to a winter wonderland. Like, you can't tell me to not be excited about winter and Christmas when it's at my door knocking to come in.
I don't have that luxury because I live in the South, but it was in the 40s all day today, and that's enough for me because it's super early and it feels wonderful.
Hey, like, at Thanksgiving and fall, they're like, well, let us enjoy fall first. And it's like, yeah, I'd love to, but I live in a place where fall is like a month long, and that's it. The leaves are gone. The snow has killed them. The snow's here. Like, I'm not going to have fall decorations in my house when it's snowing outside. I'm going to have winter decorations.
Further, Emily lives in a place where fall only lasts 1 month. We also live in a place where fall only lasts 1 month. It just lasts like during the winter time. Like December is our fall. It's weird.
That's so sad. That's so sad.
What, your fall is what, 40 degrees like us?
Yeah, honestly, it just depends. Our fall and our spring are usually unpredictable. So like we had a couple like days in the 70s, and then we had a couple days in like the 40s, and then it went down to the 20s, and the next week it's back in the 50s.
I think we go back up. We have one
Never.
more. Yeah, we have one more cold day, and then we're in the 50s to the 70s, and then back up to the 80s.
Oh, disgusting. Disgusting. Could not live in a place that was warm year round.
I will say this. The 80s in the fall for us feel completely different than the 80s in the spring. The 80s in the spring are too hot, but the 80s in the fall are manageable.
Fair assessment. If you like gave me the 40s in the fall, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so cold. And then when you get to the 40s in spring, it's like jacket off. Like we always used to judge how cold. When I was in college, we would judge how cold it was because our like complex of dorms had like 3 different basketball courts. Mm-hmm. And if the white boys were out playing basketball in their basketball shorts, it couldn't be that cold. And so it was like it was like always a judgment where it's like, how cold is it outside? And we'd be like, go look out the window. Are they playing basketball? And they'd be like, yeah. And I'd be like, okay, we're good.
I didn't get the luxury of dorm life, so yeah, there was that.
You never lived in a dorm?
No. So in Louisiana, we have this thing called the TOPS program, which is essentially free tuition. Like if you do well in the ACT and have a decent enough GPA, and almost anybody can get it.
Nice.
It's great. But you have to get a certain number on the ACT to get free room and board on top of free tuition. I was 1 point under.
What was the point? Docs your ACT score right now.
Oh, I got a 26. I needed a 27.
If I had lived in Louisiana, I could have gotten my college paid for.
Do you want to know my every single ACT score list that I like, every single individualized score?
Did you take the ACT multiple times?
Yes, I did. I'm not talking about each ACT score, but each for that 26, the last time I took it. All right, get ready for this. Math was a 36, obviously. Perfect. No problems. Science.
I don't remember my individual scores.
I do because when you hear the one that ruined everything, you'll know.
Was it English?
No, because math was a 36, science was a 32, English was a 28 or a 29. I can't remember. Okay. Reading was an 18.
Oh, Blake, you really can't read.
No, y'all think I'm lying.
You really can't read. That's so sad.
All right, we're talking about Super Mario Wonder. First and foremost,
Was it wonderful? Was it wonderful?
well, first and foremost, I am fussing at you because listen, when this month came, I've already fussed at her a little bit before this. When this month came, I had a choice. Am I buying Spider-Man 2 or am I buying Mario
You
Wonder?
would have bought Wonder regardless.
Eventually, but I had to make the choice. And Emily's like, saw the trailer for Wonder, and she's like, yeah, we're going to get it together. We're going to play it together. And I'm like, yeah. And then she didn't. And then before this stream, she said, I'm probably not going to.
You know, so here's the thing. First of all, I forgot Assassin's Creed Mirage was coming out. And so suddenly that took priority.
Yep.
And then second of all, it was really exciting when it was announced. And then the more I thought about it, and then after watching you play it, I'm not a platforming person. I don't enjoy platforming. I don't enjoy, even like I had the older like Super Mario Bros. On like Wii and whatnot. And those were fun with friends. I had like a group of friends together and we were doing that, but it was never like, I really want to play that.
Says the
it was
girl
never...
who bought the 3D platforming game with a lot of parkour.
Oh, that's different.
It probably is. It is.
That's not about like timing and like, oh, if I fall, then I have to redo it all over again. And like the aspects of that game where it's like, oh, there's a really tall tower you have to climb. And like, if you push the wrong button, you're going to fall and have to climb that tower again. I got annoyed. I didn't like it. I didn't like that I had to do that. So it's not in my, now that you've 100%ed it, especially, it's not like if I went to visit you and you pulled out Mario Wonder with like you, me, and Allison, I'd be like, let's go.
We have a plan. This is happening. When Emily comes to town, streaming Mario Wonder, me, Emily, and Allison. If Allison will get on the stream.
Let's do it.
Okay. Starting with my initial ranking. This time I did not put my...
Blake, Earthquake.
I know. I gotta stop. I gotta control myself. For those of you who don't know, Earthquake means my ADHD ass is shaking his legs, causing my camera to shake. So that's what Earthquake means. It sounds so bad. Okay, so I didn't put my review in Discord like I did with Starfield first, but that's because I didn't know I was doing a Starfield episode.
Can I guess? Can I guess?
Yes.
I'm gonna say you gave it a 9.7.
Too high.
Oh, too high? 9.3?
Slightly too high.
8.9.
Too low.
9.1. 9.1.
You skirted everywhere around it.
9.2.
Yes.
I can't wait to hear what cost it. A 0.8. 0.8 of a point.
0.8? Oh, you mean from perfect 10. Oh, no, there's...
I can do math, Blake.
I thought you meant from the 0.7.
I didn't get a 36 on my ACT for math, but I sure can tell the difference of what it takes to get from 9.2 to a perfect 10.
I just can't read. Okay, so we're going to start with... we're going to do what we did last time with Starfield and we did with EC. I think we talked about the history of 2D Mario and a lot of Mario in general. And then we'll press on to the good and the bad of Wonder. And I guess the plot, even though they don't really have plots, but...
I guess the plot?
Yeah, you can guess the plot.
Peach's castle and or Peach have been taken by Bowser. Mario has to traverse the lands to gain power to eventually get Peach back.
It's a great theory, but you can play as Peach through the story.
Oh, sick. All right, let me try this again. Bowser has only taken the castle, or he's taken a clone of Peach, and he doesn't know he has a Peach clone yet, that it's not the real Peach.
No.
Okay. I guess I'll let you tell it.
Okay, well, first we're going to go back. 1980 Super Mario comes
Oh my gosh, we're going back.
There's not as many 2D Mario games as you think there are.
I literally did not expect. I was like, oh yeah, Once Upon a Time. And you were like, in 1980, when Mario first entered the
I think
scene.
it's 1986 was the year. Older than us. Both of us. NES came out, and Super Mario Bros. Came out on the NES. this was right after the great collapse of video games. Like, everyone thought video games were done forever. And the NES and Super Mario, along with Donkey Kong arcade game, kind of saved everything after the nightmare that was E.T. on the Atari 2600. Super Mario Bros.
People didn't like E.T.
On the Atari, no, there was a landfill of just E.T. games.
That's so sad.
It was a disaster. E.T. was a disaster. I think you and I should like do an episode where we look back on E.T. the game and discuss it.
I want to play E.T. the game now.
No, you don't.
I do. I really do. That's something I really want to do.
We're going to figure that out for her on the Atari 2600.
I love playing bad video games. It's one of my great joys in life.
Well, it caused enough damage to crash the entire video game industry. Like, I'm not even kidding.
The ultimate power of E.T. What a queen. Trying to take out video games single-handedly.
And so Mario Bros. Came out. It was an instant hit. I mean, it was very, very basic platforms with a couple power-ups. There's growing, there's fire flowers. Everyone has played the original Mario Bros. On the NES in some way, shape, or form on a different console. You've never played the original Mario Bros. World 1-1. I
mean, you can play the Mario song. I know this song. I've never played it. My experience with like 2D Mario games is really limited to the one that came out on the Wii that I played with my friends for a while. That's about it.
We'll get to that one. Great. Later on down the road, Nintendo released Super Mario Bros. 2, which only released in Japan, technically. In America, it's called Super Mario The Lost Levels. They didn't release it in the
Lost Levels? That's such a cool name.
They didn't release it in the United States because they thought it would be too hard for a Western audience. That is a true story.
We're weak. Japan said those bitches are weak. Don't give them this game.
So what they did for our version of Super Mario Bros. 2, which is a completely different game, is they found some developers making a game called Doki Doki Panic, which is not it is not a Mario game by any stretch of the imagination. They're like, hey, can we buy this off you and completely reskin it to Mario characters? And they did. It was supposed to be like a game with genies on magic. Birdo was originally from Doki Doki Panic, not a Mario character.
I need you to know now, this is a saying. Every time I get nervous or something about like I'm panicking, I'm gonna say Doki Doki Panic.
Do it.
I'm gonna say I love that name. There's some great The Lost Levels, Doki Doki Panic. Incredible. Inspiring.
Mario does very, very well with what it does.
I'm looking up a photo of Doki Doki Panic.
Yeah, you're gonna see it's a genie, like genies on a magic carpets, and where Birdo came from. It's the same game.
I've seen a photo of this before.
Yeah, it's a reskin of Super Mario.
Shy Guys are in here.
Yeah, Shy Guys originally came from Doki Doki Panic.
Oh, wow. So much history, Blake.
Birdo,
you're so educational.
I mean, since Doki Doki Panic never released, they are technically canon Mario characters, but they were not supposed to be. So that. And
here I've been giving Nintendo credit for Shy Guys all along. I'm sorry. Please continue.
Then we moved on. Super Mario Bros. 3, which is regarded as the greatest 2D Mario game of all time. To this day, people adore that game.
What platform is that on?
It's still the NES. This is the last one on the NES. Super Mario Bros. 3. It introduced... we already had kind of secret exits in the first Super Mario Bros. We got way more like secret hidden things within levels. They weren't just go straight to the end. It didn't feel like go straight to the end anymore. There was so much hidden in there. So much charm. The bosses were great. I do love Mario Bros. 3. It's not my favorite of the 2D Mario games, but it's up there, and I understand why people think it's...
What's your favorite of the 2D Mario games?
If we're not talking about Wonder, because I still haven't decided between the two, then it's Super Mario World on the SNES.
All right, fair enough.
Which is the next one. And part of that is nostalgia. It was my first 2D Mario game that I ever played. No, that's a lie. That is a lie. My first 2D Mario game was Super Mario Land on the Game Boy. The Game Boy. It was my first video game I ever owned. It was Super Mario Land on the Game Boy Color, and Super Mario Land 2.
And this is hard to beat when it comes to like determining how much you love something, because sometimes it feels like a betrayal to not pick that thing.
Yeah, Super Mario Land is great. It's just Super Mario Land is whack, dude. It is a whack game. Like the underwater levels, you're in a ship shooting cannonballs at enemies. It's so
Sounds
weird.
awful. Don't do that.
It's so fun. It's whack. Also, you're saving Daisy. Like Daisy's the princess you're trying to save, and that's where Daisy comes from.
You know who doesn't get enough love? Princess Eclair.
From what?
Exactly. This is exactly my point. Princess Eclair of the Waffle Kingdom is not given the respect as a Mario princess that she deserves.
I have to be the what? What are you talking about?
It's offensive. You've played this game that she's in.
I'm blanking.
She's in Paper Mario. Okay, she's not shown in Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door. But she is the princess that Luigi is trying to save.
Yeah.
And then he finds out at the end she's been engaged all along.
Yeah, okay. That tracks. You're right. You know what? You're absolutely right. Underrated.
Princess Eclair, and she's so freaking cute. Like, if you look up a photo of her, her hair is waffle buns. They're buns that look like waffles.
Listen, there would be a problem with that. Because if I saw that, I might eat them. And that'd be problematic.
I'm posting a photo of this into our Discord chat.
Oh, okay, great.
I think this is a fan-made photo, but like...
Yeah, because they never show her.
They never show her, but I love her.
So technically,
look at her.
That's why she doesn't. She exists, but she technically doesn't exist.
She exists. I love her. Don't take her away from me.
Okay. So we had Super Mario Land and Super Mario Land 2 on the Game Boy. Super Mario Land was my first video game ever. Unless you count Putt Putt Saves the Zoo, but I don't.
Absolutely count Putt Putt Saves the Zoo.
It's a wonderful game.
It took a lot of work to save that zoo, and you should give him the respect he deserves.
I adore those humongous entertainment games. I love all of them. They're all great. Putt Putt, Sly Fox. Not Mario though.
I guess we should talk about Mario.
Yeah, and then we got Super Mario.
Dude.
He's alright.
He's fine. I met him once. He was a little weird. He asked for my Snapchat, which was awkward because Peach was like 3 feet away, and I had to be like,
"Isn't he like
weird.
35? Why is he asking for your Snapchat? He's like 35."
He was also like 3 feet tall, and I was like, "Bro, like." I'm all here for a short king, but like that's maybe just a little short for me personally.
Well, after Emily broke his heart, he went and did Super Mario World, which is where we get introduced to Yoshi's.
Yeah. No, I don't even know what you're talking about. There was no Mario game before Yoshi's existed, but all right.
This is true. And Yoshi's Island, I'm pretty sure Yoshi's Island came out after Super Mario. Yeah, because Yoshi's Island is Super Mario World 2, technically. But Yoshi's Island came out. Sorry, not Yoshi's Island. Super Mario World came out. Also took the world by storm. The first home console Mario game I ever played, because I was at a church youth group. Well, I was a child drop off when my parents were doing church stuff, and I just played their SNES in there because I didn't have
Mario is religious. I'm learning.
Yeah, Mario is a devout Catholic. He is a Roman Catholic.
Love that for him. Interesting, considering some of the choices he makes, but
Luigi has
love that for him.
Luigi, after he married Daisy, converted to become Baptist. Just so you know.
Oh no, that doesn't sound right.
And Wario himself is Waluigi is agnostic. And Wario is that atheist who will continuously tell you you're wrong for believing in anything.
Yeah, that sounds right.
That tracks. And Toad is Buddhist.
That tracks. That feels right.
Peach is still going on her spiritual journey, along with Daisy, trying to figure out who they are.
Yeah. That's all very fitting.
Rosalina is half Wiccan, but also believes heavily in astronomy, which kind of ties in anyways.
I met somebody the other day who introduced themselves and was like, I'm a Libra. And I was like, you sure are, friend. Thanks for letting me know.
If anyone ever introduced themselves to me, like, that's great. I don't believe in space racism. Thank you.
I was like, I'm a Cancer. And they were like, oh. And I was like,
yeah, space racism. It's off tangent. I'm gonna talk about this. All right. I have no problem with the astronomy thing until you try to say this person's like this because this is their sign. No, that is space racism, and you know it. Stop it.
I had fun with astronomy. Like there was a trend maybe like back in 2016 on Tumblr where it would be like enter scenario here, and then it would like list everything the different signs would do or what would happen to those signs. And me and my friends had so much fun comparing ourselves. But I do not legitimately believe in astrology.
Well, neither do I. I think they're just goofy. They're fun to read.
It's fun.
Moving on. We had a drought after Super Mario World and Super Mario Land, and in the 2D space. N64 came out. We technically had Yoshi's Island, but it was a different type of game. It was
Yoshi's Story is better than any Super Mario game that's ever existed.
I want you to look at me and Super Mario 64 and apologize. And Sunshine.
Super Mario 64 is not a 2D platformer.
I know, but Yoshi's Story is not a 2D platformer either. Oh, wait, no, it technically is. It technically is.
It is. Get out of here.
You're right. It's the weird 3D. It's the 2.5D where it's 3D, but it's in 2D. It's weird. Yeah. Blake is wrong. You like Yoshi's Story more than Yoshi's Island, though?
I don't play Yoshi's Island.
That's a mistake.
I only owned Yoshi's Story as a child. And specifically for where they go...
Play Yoshi's Island. We're going to put a SNES emulator on your computer and you're going to play Yoshi's Island. And you're going to love Yoshi's Island. Yoshi's Island's fantastic.
I'll play it. I love Yoshi.
I know you do. Moving on. We had a drought because we had the N64, which gave us Super Mario 64 and Yoshi's Story. Didn't have anything 2D there. 2D was like kind of out.
Yoshi's Story was a 2D platformer.
Yes, but it was not a Mario 2D platformer. It's a completely different type of game.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
I did have eggs that I yeeted at people and children I created, and I ate a lot of fruit. So I guess that's fair.
Technically, on the Game Boy Advance, we got a remake of every single 2D Mario game. Like every single one on cartridge. And technically, if you want to get really specific, Super Mario World 3 or Super Mario Land 3 and 4 are Wario Land games. I digress. They're also weird. Don't count them. Talking specifically about the red guy. And then we move.
I know him.
Do you though?
I wish I didn't.
You didn't play Odyssey. So.
You're right, I didn't.
But I didn't play the other Odyssey.
Fake fan.
Then we move on to the Wii. Because nothing happened on the GameCube either. And on the Wii, they're like, all right, people want 2D Mario again. So there you make New Super Mario Bros. Terrible
I played
name.
that one.
Yes. When it came out, it was great. People loved it. I liked it. I thought it was fine. The problem was it left a lot to be desired for me. I think they tried a lot of things and tried to make it fresh, but it didn't feel great.
Is that because you could only play as a yellow and a blue toad and you couldn't play as a Yoshi at all? Because that's personally why it felt pretty stale to me.
That is a good enough reason. I would feel to actually, be mad. I feel that is correct.
I played that with 4 friends consistently, and it was always a fight over what color everyone had to be. And I never wanted to be the blue or the yellow toad if they had fun colored toads.
Also, New Super Mario Bros. Came out on the DS, which was a separate game, which was awesome. The DS one is great. You get to be in a turtle shell and crush things.
Ooh, that's fun. I like that.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I did love it. Then it got really weird because they're like, we want to make a 3D Mario game, but we also want to make a 2D Mario game. So the 3DS comes out, and they release Super Mario Land 3D. Okay. It is the feel of a 2D Mario game in a 3D space. If you played Super Mario 3D World, which came out on the Wii U and the Switch, then that's the same feeling. I think you did.
Is it not like
you did play with us?
How comparable is this to like a Super Paper Mario, where like it was 2D, but then you could turn it and it was 3D.
Super Paper Mario is closer to a 2D Mario game, I would say, than the rest. But that's a good point.
Because I do distinctly remember levels where they had like that
and the flagpole,
the blocks line up in the flagpole, and like you walked and it was 2D, but then you could turn and it was like the 3D.
I think the only thing holding that back is that wasn't the whole thing. Like that wasn't the whole game. Where Super Mario 3D Land and Super Mario 3D World were built that way, like where it's a set of courses and there is a flagpole at the end to get the end. It's 2D but 3D. So it was very, very interesting. We got to the Wii U. We got New Super Mario Bros. U, which is the same as New Super Mario Bros., just different. I mean, it's a different levels, different story. Like it's a new game, but it's the same feel. They changed almost nothing. They may have added a power up. I honestly can't remember because those games, they don't stick in my head. That's how uninspired all the new Super Mario Bros. Games were for me. They were fine.
Seems very similar to the Paper Mario series. Like they all were new and they just weren't
crazy.
But they weren't great.
Well, no,
they weren't great.
I still think it's different because when Paper Mario started straying away, they got bad and they were just completely different games. These were still the 2D Mario formula. They just were uninspired and kind of lackluster.
They just kind of went with what they had already.
Yeah, exactly.
They didn't try to innovate or do anything really cool.
Exactly. It's like if they made another 1,000-year door, but made it 10 hours long with the most bland story of all time.
Yeah, that's called Origami King.
Well, that also has terrible mechanics. Emily's going to play Sticker Star next month. I'm just kidding. Don't
what?
Do not play Sticker Star. I beg of you for your own sanity.
Why would you put that out there?
That leads us up to this point. At this point, we have Super Mario Bros. Wonder, which is the first, I would say, new 2D Mario game since whenever New Super Mario Bros. New Super Mario Bros. U came out. I think it was like 2014, 15. It's been almost 10 years.
Was it Super Mario Bros. U just like a rehashed version of the Wii one?
It wasn't the same game. It was new game, new levels, but the same type of, like, it was the same style, same power-ups, maybe one or two new power-ups. I can't remember.
Okay.
But yeah.
So it wasn't new.
Where all the other games changed. So Mario Bros. To Mario Bros. 2 to Mario Bros. 3 were all different styles, different mechanics, whatever. Same with Super Mario World. New Super Mario Bros. To New Super Mario Bros. U. They were completely different levels, but the setup was the same. Almost completely.
Okay.
You also had New Super Mario. You had New Super Luigi U, which is just New Super Mario Bros. U with extra Luigi levels, and you can play as Luigi. It was the weirdest DLC of all time that nobody asked for.
Justice for Luigi. I asked for it.
You got it for free on the Switch version. It didn't need to be DLC.
You ever looked at me and you were like, "What do you need?" I need more Luigi time. Is the answer. I don't think Luigi gets the credit he deserves.
It should not have been a DLC. It should have been included in the base game.
Fair enough.
I will straight up say that. Okay, so new Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Emily, you finally get to hear the story. Okay.
Yeah.
So you have Mario, Peach, Daisy, Luigi. You have you have Yellow Toad, Blue Toad, Toadette, Red Yoshi, Blue Yoshi, Green Yoshi, and Nabbit, which is the rabbit they added in the Super Mario Bros. U games to be easy. They're all in the Flower Kingdom, okay?
Sick. Love the Flower Kingdom.
It's great. With a worm prince named Prince Florian.
That's the name of the prince in Snow White. Are they related?
Is that prince a worm?
Not that I recall.
It's a Disney prince. It's a Disney prince, so probably the same prince, Emily, was the correct answer. All right? There was a kiss from his true love. He became that prince. And then he went off to another true love.
No, I think that's The Princess and the Frog. You should know that takes place in New Orleans.
It does. It absolutely does. Y'all from Shreveport? Oh,
I just watched that movie the other day. Such a good movie.
It's great. Okay, so Bowser shows up, unsurprising. He doesn't want to steal anybody, though. He literally just takes this thing called a Wonder Flower or the Wonder Seed, whatever it is at the beginning. He takes it and he merges with the castle, just becomes the castle. Bowser is a castle. Okay?
Hey.
And is trying to take over the Flower Kingdom as a castle.
He's what?
He's a castle.
But why?
I don't know what he's trying to accomplish, to be honest.
This really feels like
If you
very Calamity Ganon-esque.
So I thought the exact same thing, and the only reason I thought that is because when you see him out in the open when you're going through all the levels, you see giant clouded flowers, what do they call it? Piranha plants surrounding him like gas, and it looks like Calamity Ganon surrounding the castle.
Yeah, I mean, he's like, hey, can he control things? Like, can he open the doors of, like, if you went inside the castle, could he open the doors for you? Does he have control over the castle?
Oh, yeah. And I'll get to that when we get to the end of the game.
Is it like a Beauty and the Beast type thing where, like, the castle is, like, different like, different parts of the castle are different? Or, like, Cogsworth is a clock, and so, like, if you took, like, the two hands of the clock and moved them, it hurt him, or it tickled him, right? If I went up and I kicked the side of the castle, would that hurt Bowser?
No.
If I, like, dismantled a door?
No, that would not hurt Bowser.
Why?
I don't know. I'm just going to tell you right now, the creators of this game were definitely on acid. Okay?
Why did he merge with it? Like, what's the point of merging with the castle?
Because whoever owns the castle, I guess, owns the land. He was able to, like, conjure
No,
all
why
the
not own the castle?
He is the castle. Why does he have to own it?
So he could be owned then?
No, because he just flew wherever he wanted to go.
He merged and became a castle for the transportation, so he could go where he wanted to go.
Listen. Once again, it's a Mario game. The story is the least important part here.
Why did I do that? It makes no... Okay, yeah, fine, whatever.
I don't know why he merged.
Bowser's a castle. What am I going to call him? Basil?
Kowser? Someone in the chat draw Bowser as a cow, and we will call him Kowser. What? Are you muted?
No, I was just saying Kowser really quietly.
Oh, that's why it wasn't coming through.
Kowser!
Okay, so talking about level design, each level has a Wonder Seed at the end. Each regular level has 2 Wonder Seeds. You get a Wonder Seed at the end of the flagpole, or you get a Wonder Seed by doing a Wonder Flower Challenge. Huh?
What do you transform into when you get a Wonder Seed?
Wonder Seeds are not the power-ups. But
Bowser got a Wonder Seed, and he turned into a castle.
And this is where I was wrong. He got a Wonder Flower.
Oh, all right. I see. Maybe you said Wonder Flower, and I just...
It also could have been one of the end area. You know how, like, in Super Mario Sunshine, you have, like, the grand stars? It's same with other Mario games. Like, you have the bigger stars.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like that. It's like the grand Wonder Seed. It's this big-ass seed.
All right. I support it.
Yep, it's good. Each level, you are collecting regular Wonder Seeds to unlock different parts of levels, whatever. Each level has a Wonder Flower, unless it's one of the mini challenge levels. But we'll stick with regular levels for now. These Wonder Flowers make you go through an acid trip, and different things happen in different levels. It is not always the same. Yeah, you have to find them. Like, most of them are right out in the open, and they're really easy to find. Some of them are a little bit hidden, and some of them are a little bit out of reach, and you have to figure out how to grab them.
I hope Mario's okay at the end of this.
So
it's a lot of acid tripping for free.
It is a lot of free acid.
That can lead you down a really dark path real fast, especially when you start seeing Castle Bowsers or Kowsers.
If we're talking about level 2, which is one of my I'm glad they did it so early on to show the charm of this game. Is level 2, when you grab it, you go through the Piranha Parade. It is literally, you hit the Wonder Flower, all the piranha plants start coming out of their pipes in, like, as an a cappella choir, and they start singing to you and walking and strutting to music and going back in pipes. And it is It is adorable.
That's fun. That's fun.
It's very, very good. It made me very, very happy. I'm going to also say this. A lot of levels are musical based. There are a good amount that are like, there's that one. There are some time, like jump to the beat levels.
I did see you play one where it was like a jump to the beat and like the platform didn't appear until the beat was ready and then it would disappear after and you had to like, and that seemed very cool. I liked that.
There are other ones where when music's playing, like you'll hear like a dun dun, and every single one a platform will appear, and you have to like wall jump from to and from, and eventually those older ones will disappear. Those are like harder challenges. But still fantastic. There's a lot of music based levels. We're gonna get back to the singing piranha plants later, though. So you go through the opening area, you get your first giant wonder seed. I forgot what they're called. Throughout each of these worlds too, you have break time levels, which are just like homages to older Mario games. One of them is you see a guitar in the background and it's playing Delfino Plaza from Super Mario Sunshine as you're jumping around. Great. It's great. It's wonderful.
I love that.
There are other ones where like there's these launch pads where it's forcing you to go to one direction and you're just trying to grab like stars. There's no enemies, not a lot of platforming. They're just cute little fun sections of level.
Okay.
There are other many types of levels. These are called KO arenas, and chat remembers I was struggling with those last night on Twitch trying to 100% this. KO arenas are, you get to choose 2 power-ups to hold on to, and you can switch in between unless you lose them. And your goal is to defeat all the enemies in each room within a given time, which grants you one of the collectibles, which are 10 purple coins. They're just one of the mini collectibles. There's 3 in each stage. Kind of hard to get. Yeah. You get a wonder seed at the end of those 2. Of course, these mini levels do not have wonder flowers to trip you out.
So it like mixes this up. So instead of doing like constant platforming, you can do something a little different.
Yeah. And they're spread out. Like they're very, very common. The KO arenas are what took me the longest to 100% because I'm not good at timing. There are the other type of level. What is it called? I can't remember. But the whole idea is, hey, we hid all these little tokens, these 5 tokens around the world. With the power up that we give you, solve a bunch of puzzles to find them. And
I like that. I love puzzle solving.
The first one, I found the first 4 so easily, and it took me 20 minutes to find the last one because it was so well hidden. And everyone else, because I had it online on, we were all scrambling until somebody found it and like, I know what to do now. It was incredible.
So speaking of the online play, does that work pretty well, or does it have any lag? Does it feel is it easy?
The online play, so unlike, there's 2 types of online play. We'll start with the one that you're probably going to deal with if you're playing by yourself. Playing by yourself, online play, it's ghosts that you also see doing things with you. You can't interact with them, you can't fuck with them, but you can see what they're doing. And if they die, they can come and touch you as a ghost within 5 seconds and they can revive, or you can do the same. If you die, if you find one of them, you can touch them.
So is it like, you said they're ghosts and you can't like mess with them or anything, but is it like playing with friends? Like you do the level together? Like if they got one of the purple coins, you wouldn't have to get the purple coin because they got it.
No, you still have to get them. But they're more there to show, like you can see them do it, like how they did it as you're going, because these are people playing in real time. These are people playing in real time, and most of the time I just ignore them, but they have been helpful to solve challenges.
Okay, so they're more to like give you ideas. They're not actually like, oh, I don't have any friends to play with, but I want to play. It's not like with Mario Kart where you're like, I want to play with other people, and then you all race on the same track and you're like competing against one another. Where I was thinking maybe like, you're like, oh man, I really want to play this game with friends, but I don't have any friends who own it. I'll go online and I'll find a group of 3 people and we'll do these levels together.
I also have to stress this enough that these are actual people playing at the same time as you. It's not like, oh, these are ghost players who have already played through the level. These people are playing at the same time as you. Like,
yeah, but like you're not working.
Correct. You're not working.
They're playing at the same time as you on the same level and you can see them, but you're not a team.
Yeah. The working together aspect only comes if somebody dies and somebody resurrects them.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. That makes sense.
Other online functionality, I haven't tried it yet. That's multiplayer. I haven't tried it yet. I really didn't need to.
That is like where you play with friends.
Correct.
Okay.
And I did play local multiplayer with my brother. That is a little. I don't like how it's set up because they have one character as a main focus. So if my brother's main focus and I'm on the screen, if he goes out of bounds and I go too far, I'm a ghost and I have to catch up to him to revive.
Yeah, but I feel like that's kind of a pitfall of a lot of co-op games like that. Like my friend and I were playing a very similar game. And we had that problem a lot where one of us would go off screen and the camera would follow somebody else. And you'd be like, wait, I was still grabbing this coin or this item, whatever. And then you're gone because they went off screen and the camera followed them.
Right,
like,
exactly.
Well, rip.
On to the next point. Throughout each world, you're collecting these wonder seeds. You're also, throughout the levels, you're collecting regular coins. They don't do anything but give you 1-ups once you hit 100. There's nothing special about them. You're also collecting purple coins, so you can buy wonder seeds at the shop. There's one wonder seed at every shop in every world. Which I thought those were just like to help make it easier for other players to get pass points. No, they are required to 100% because there's one seed per shop.
So are these shops called wonder shops?
They're called Poplin shops because these are the race is Poplins.
Do you think they couldn't call them wonder shops because they would be sued by Target?
Who would win? Actually, counter question. Who would win a lawsuit? Nintendo or Target?
In this scenario, I think the lawsuit would probably be thrown out. So I think Nintendo would win in that case. But Target does have the Wonder Shop items, which I know because I just spent 2 hours wandering through Target buying a bunch of Christmas decorations from the Wonder Shop specifically. Spent a lot of money. I'm very happy with the purchases I made.
Well, after Mario goes and buys a Wonder Seed from Target, you get to these certain parts of each world that are actually locked. They're locked like you need this many Wonder Seeds to progress in this part of the world.
Okay.
You get through World 1, you unlock that final level. This ends up being the final level of the World 1. There's 6 separate worlds. You go through it. It's a Bowser's Castle, as you could expect, like every 2D Mario game at the end of the world.
No. Let's backtrack. Because you can't just say it's a Bowser's Castle like you expect.
It's not
that Bowser turned into a castle.
Yes, this one is not Bowser himself. It is a castle constructed by Bowser in this area.
Right. Thank you. Okay. You're gonna have to specify that.
Yes. Yeah. Good point. You make a fair point. You go through. You fight the boss, which is Bowser Jr., which we'll talk about more in the con section. And then that's World 1. Opens up World 2. Wait, go ahead.
Well, I'm wondering, and this might just be a personal question, what's the difference between Bowser Jr. and Koopa Kid?
Oh, they're technically separate.
Person?
They're technically separate characters.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, they're technically 2 separate Bowser children. They just have not brought back Koopa Kid.
Which one's which?
Bowser Jr. is the one you see more often now. The one you always see.
The one with, like, the ponytail?
Yes, the one in Super Mario Sunshine.
I don't like him. I like Koopa Kid.
Koopa Kid is better.
Koopa Kid's cuter.
Okay, so you fight Bowser Jr., you move on to go to World 2. You beat World 2, opens up World 3. After you beat World 3, which does not have a Bowser Castle boss, but once again, we'll get to that later. You open up worlds 4 through 6. 4, 5, and 6. You can do them in any order you want. Get through them, get all the Mega Seeds, and you defeat Bowser. Oh, I don't know how I forgot this. This is going to be real quick. One more type of extra level they have are Wiggler races, where you race a Wiggler, and it's fantastic. It's really, really fun.
A Wiggler or a worm?
You've seen Wiggler. Wiggler has arms and legs. He's more like a millipede.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, but that was just
scary. That actually seems horror-esque to me.
Oh, the Wiggler race
like,
is a blast.
I'm running, and there's a Wiggler chasing after me.
Oh,
with
no,
all
they
of
can't
his
touch
legs
you.
and arms.
They can't touch you.
But this is scary.
It is a very, very, they're easy races. I got them all in the first try. They were very, very simple.
You know what race I never got in the first try or even the 10th try?
Lon Lon Ranch?
Oh, no. Actually, this one's worse than that. this one gives less anxiety, but I'm better at Lon Lon Ranch. In Super Mario 64, when you have to race that penguin.
Oh, yeah.
And the penguin slide, I fell off that slide so many times.
The problem is, even if you go through the shortcut, he'll call you out for using the shortcut. He'll be like, you
I was
cheated.
never brave enough for it.
No, the shortcut through the wall. Like, you just go straight through a wall, and it is a secret path. But I
don't know if I knew that existed.
Oh, yeah. There's a path of coins that lead up to that wall, and you just go right through it.
Huh.
It's a secret.
Maybe I did.
It's not even a glitch. It's great.
But I was really bad at that one.
Anywho. All right. You get all the mega seeds, whatever. You go to Bowser's Castle because now all the piranha plant clouds are no longer surrounding him.
Yeah.
You go into Bowser's Castle, and this is where your question was, can he, like, manipulate himself? He can, because he just conjures levels at will. Like, he's just like, oh, you're here. Well, take on this level that I just created. Pop, and it appears, and it gives you 3 to do. Okay, looks like you're going to ask something.
He's a castle. How is a castle making world levels? Like, that's not a power typically bestowed upon
Well, he's only
castle.
making levels within himself. He's only making levels within himself.
Okay.
Within his own confines. He makes those 3 levels. Okay. They're okay. They're not the hardest levels. They're kind of tricky. But then you get to the big bad. The last level is getting to Bowser himself. It is a completely rhythm-based level. It's you have to. There's 2 colored platforms. There's pink and blue. They jump at different times, like to the beat. It's ... blue ... pink, etc. And when you jump at the same time as those, you launch up. You're invincible, and you can hit him. Right? It's a very rhythm-based boss fight. It was a really fun boss fight. You beat that, you beat Bowser, that's the end of the game. There are special world stuff. We'll talk about that in pros and cons. Because there's a special world in every single Mario game except for Super Mario Bros. And Super Mario Bros. 2. Yeah. I don't think there was one in 3 either. I can't remember. I know there's one in 1.
So then, when you beat it, the castle is freed from Bowser? Bowser and the castle are split?
Yes, and you see Bowser, Kamek, and Bowser Jr. launch off into the distance.
Interesting strat, Bowser. Becoming a castle would not have been my first go-to, but I guess it wasn't your first go-to either. It was like your 500th go-to.
Yeah, he's got to be more innovative.
Building a castle under Peach's castle, lifting that castle into the sky. This was a different castle attempt, so I can respect it, I guess.
Cool. Let's talk about the pros and the cons. Cool. Pros are going to be very easy. We're running out of time, so I gotta bum rush through these. Great. Wonderful. Oh, no, I don't. I forgot. We started late.
Yeah, you got like 10 minutes.
Yeah, okay, sweet. Pros. Level design and animation are big pros. Here's the thing about New Super Mario Bros. And New Super Mario Bros. U on the Wii and the Wii U. They feel so stagnant. Your jump just feels like a normal jump without a lot of movement. Same with like high jumps. Same with power-up transformations, whatever. They don't feel inspired. They just feel like they're there. Every single move and every single level has some kind of quirky animation. Whether you're going through a pipe and you see them waving their little legs and struggling and doing weird movements, it no longer feels just boring of like just walking in a pipe.
It felt more fluid and charming.
Yes, exactly. They paid a lot of attention to the power-ups. To the animation. When you grab a power-up, it's no longer just Mario grows big. He makes a little animation to how he's changing, whatever it is. I keep saying Mario. I played through Toadette through my whole playthrough.
That's smart. That's a smart way to play it.
It was the only way to play. I played as Toadette through the whole way through. Same thing. Cute little animations. Wonderful. Another thing about level design, I think they took a lot of notes from good Mario Maker levels. You had the original creators of like the original 3 Mario Bros. Every single 2D Mario game and some 3D Mario games were on this project. I think it was all their ideas plus the ideas that they saw in Mario Maker, what creators were making and people like were loving and going through. There was a lot of points where I'm like, this feels like Mario Maker.
It had like that level of creativity because like I mean like you said earlier, it felt like the other ones or like the last one that came out was a very passionless project.
Yes.
Whereas like the Mario makers, the people who are going to play and make Mario Maker creations are very passionate people who dedicate a lot of their time to making those levels. And so, you know, whether direct inspiration or not, it feels like maybe they got some of that passion back.
Yes, 1,000%. That is exactly correct. I think there was only one level I hated. And that one level, it was a badge. Oh, that's another special type of level I forgot. There are badge levels, and we'll go into badges in a second too as pros and cons technically. But badge levels are how you unlock different badges, which are what can help you through levels. This specific badge you wore, if you were to jump on a wall and normally wall jump off, this would give you an extra hop vertically on that wall. So like if you were just missing a ledge, you can jump up again instead of away and get on top. This was annoying, and this badge level took me an hour to do, only because you were doing
an hour.
It was because you were on a spinning. You were trying to do it on a spinning platform.
Oh, I know when you're talking. I actually watched you play some of this. Yeah, where it was like the two that were like this that were like turning, and then there was one that was vertical that was also turning at the same time. Yes. I did see you play. I did see you do that one. That one looked awful.
Had me raging. It was awful. Level design. I mean, story's not going to go in pros and cons. It's a Mario game. Story's not really there. But level design, different variety of levels. Power-ups. The elephant power-up is sick. All right? You turn into an elephant. You got water in your trunk, so you can spray water on things. You can attack things sideways. You don't have to jump on top of them. You also, of course, grow in size. It's wonderful.
How would you rate the elephant power up in comparison to like the cat power up?
I'm gonna rank it higher because even though I like the cat power up, it feels a little too furry to me.
It's a little too furry. It's got too many furry vibes.
Yeah, too many furry vibes. Plus, it's just a cat costume. He doesn't turn into a cat. He's just in a cat costume.
This one he turns into. Yeah, you're right. He does turn into an actual elephant.
He's an actual elephant, and all of them, Toadette, Peach, all of them turn into elephants. It's wonderful. The other power ups, you have the fire flower. It's classic. You can never get rid of it.
Sure.
They have the drill power up, which is really really cool. The drill power up is there have been variations of the drill power up, but this one you go underground. Or you can jump into the ceiling and be above, like in that part of the ceiling, only at like the base level of it, and just slide around that way. No enemies can touch you or anything, and you can just bop them from underneath.
Nice.
That is a great power up. That is broken for traversing through levels. There was so many cool like ways to just speed through levels that way. And then the last power up is the bubble power up, which is overpowered if you're fighting enemies because you blow bubbles. You can jump on the bubbles to jump higher, but also if a bubble touches an enemy, they get sucked into the bubble and just explode.
I love that. Did you use that on Bowser for your final fight?
I did not.
I know you said it was like a musical.
You could not use it on Bowser or Bowser Jr.
Ooh.
You could not. I'm so sorry to burst your bubble. But anywho, all the power-ups were wonderful. I loved them all. No complaints there. There's not a lot bad to say about the game. This is going to be the mixed section because some of it's really good and really bad. We're going to talk about the badges as a whole. There are 24 different badges you can get, each with a different ability. The one I found using the most, and actually 99% of the levels, when I say the most, I don't mean just like 80% of them, like literally almost every level, was the parachute cap. Essentially, if you're in the air, you grab your hat and you're just floating down. It's like a parachute. Okay. It was very, very helpful. There are other power-ups. There is the dolphin kick, which make you think like Kingdom Hearts. When you're going fast in Atlantica and Kingdom Hearts 1, you got the dolphin kick ability. You get that for underwater levels in Super Mario Wonder.
Is it actually called dolphin kick?
It is. It is.
In both games?
I think it's mermaid kick in Kingdom Hearts.
Is it? Because I thought Sora was like a dolphin.
I don't remember.
Because you learn it from the dolphin, don't you?
Did you know that the GameCube original title was the Dolphin? I'm sorry. We need to get Craig Classic on the show.
Yeah, we need to get him over here.
As you're looking,
it is called Mermaid Kick is an ability that appears in Kingdom Hearts. It allows the user to swim faster and more powerfully with a dolphin kick. What? Yeah. Why are you calling it both a dolphin kick and a mermaid kick? What's Dolphin kick is a skill that appears in Kingdom Hearts 2.
Was there a dolphin kick? Yeah, there was. You're right.
This one says mermaid. This is upsetting. Which was the dolphin kick and which was the mermaid kick?
Just yell at Nomura later. Just yell at Nomura like we always do.
Should have the dolphin kick by now. I can't, yeah, alright. I'm gonna have to, like, actually replay Kingdom Hearts 1 and Kingdom Hearts 2 just to learn which one has a mermaid kick and which one has a dolphin kick.
More badges. There is a badge that makes you flutter jump like Luigi or Yoshi. You know how you jump up and then they kick their feet to stay higher? Yeah. Luigi can't do it naturally in this game. He can only do it with that badge. It's pretty useful. There is a badge where you crouch down. I'm going through all the good badges, by the way. There's a badge where you crouch down, and as you crouch, you build up power, and then it makes you jump really, really high. There's too many jump badges that are very similar, because this third badge is you jump in the air, you press the trigger button, and you spin to go even higher. So it's like, why would you distinguish? I don't know why they have a distinguishing between all the jumping ones, but I digress. I'm gonna miss some of these. There are badges you can buy later that they don't give you at the beginning of the game until you like get to special world. These badges essentially are, hey, every time I grab any power up, I turn into the elephant power up, no matter what I grab, or the digging one. There's one of each of those, including just the mushroom.
Like, it could be nice, but also really annoying if you suddenly needed a different power up and you're like, I can't actually get any power ups because I have this badge on.
That's why they save it to the end. On purpose. The last thing is a group of expert badges. Okay. These expert badges are made to, if you want more of a challenge in the regular game. So, oh my God, some of them are really cool. The really cool one is like the rocket shoes. Essentially, ooh. You are constantly running. You can't stop running. But if you go like off a cliff, you have like 3 or 4 steps off the cliff before you start to go down. And when you're in that midair, you press the jump button. You can jump just on air to go higher. It's actually a pretty cool power up. It's hard because you're constantly running. There is, oh my God, my least favorite 2 of these power ups are the spring jump, which essentially you're constantly jumping. You can't stop jumping. You don't. I
don't think I'd like that.
No, it was terrible. In the final gauntlet that I'm trying to beat right now, the final level that I still have not completed after 3 hours today, that is the part I am stuck on. I am struggling. And then another one, which sounds cool in theory, is terrible in practice, is the invisibility badge.
What is it? That just makes you invisible?
It makes you invisible to everybody, including yourself.
That's awful.
That's hard. You can like, if you twirl in the air, you can see like the wind around you, but no enemies can see you. Yeah, it's made to be harder. It's made to make things harder. That's why I put the badges in the middle category. Some of them are really, really fun and unique, but some of them are just god awful and terrible.
Yeah, that's fair.
Now we jump into the cons, and it's a very short list.
Yeah.
It's a very...
I could see that. You really liked the game, but also, like, this isn't, I don't want to say it's not a complex game, because there are very complex mechanics to it, but, like, when you have, like, a very paper-thin story and it's kind of, like, similar mechanics for each level, I can see that. If you really enjoy it, you really enjoy it.
I think most of my Starfield complaints came story-wise. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think a lot of my Assassin's Creed complaints were story, too. Some of them.
So complaints, I will say that I think the 3 Bowser Jr. fights. I also forgot sometimes there are levels where you're on a Bowser ship, like there is in every Mario game too, like one of those. Yeah. You go to the end. There's bosses there. There's a boss in each one of those, and there's a boss in each one of the Bowser's castles. On the end of every single Bowser's castle, it's a different iteration of Bowser Jr. where he uses the Wonder Flower to change either in the first one. First, you get really big and he gets really small, and then the second half, you're really small and he's really big. The other one, the only
Fun.
that one was okay. The only other one I can think of, there was one where he spawns water at the bottom, you hit him. He spawns water at the top, you hit him, and then he has water like bubbles going in between that you have to jump and swim through to get to him. It's a pain. But each Bowser Jr. fight all feel the same, just with a slight tweak to it. They were kind of just there. They were not my favorite boss fights. They weren't great.
They weren't anything special.
I will say I put the Bowser boss fight in the good category. It wasn't my favorite thing, but it was a good final boss. On the Bowser ships, it's not even a boss per se. It's a conveyor belt with this robotic Bowser eating these boxes and stuff with a different trick to get over to him. The goal is to get all the way to the head and hit the button on the top of the head. Okay.
It's fun.
Yeah, it's easy. It takes 2 seconds apiece. They are not hard. They are so in theory, fun. In practice, uninspired,
not so much.
Boring.
Dang. All right.
Those are my biggest complaints. I guess my other. Oh, we have to go back to pros for a second. Pro that I forgot to mention. Pro, a lot of levels with hidden secret exits. Some of them are obvious. Some of them are very hard to find, but when you find them, they're the most rewarding thing in the world, and they unlock paths to new levels. Pro.
I like that. I like the exploration pays off in a game where it doesn't feel like there would be a lot of exploration because it feels like you're in a 2D environment.
There is a lot of exploration. There is a ton. But the cons to this, are sometimes it's a little. I don't want to say it's not obvious enough. I guess that's the best way to put it. So, for example, one of the first levels, when you hit the Wonder Seed, the Wonder Flower, and you finish it and you get that Wonder Seed, it takes you to an exit, and you hit that exit. That turned out to be the secret exit. And I kept wondering, why am I missing the third Wonder Seed from this one? Because if it shows 3 Wonder Seeds, that means...
But you were playing the whole level.
I learned that the only way to get that third one is you could not get the Wonder Flower. You have to get to the original end of the level for that third one. So you technically were getting the secret one by getting the Wonder Flower, but you were not getting the original one by not hitting the Wonders.
Kind of like that though. It tricked you.
It tricked me a lot.
In a way, the secret door was the original one. It kind of was like, oh, you can leave. Don't worry about the Wonder Flower. And you're like, I got the Wonder Flower. And that's not the real one.
It is the most minor gripe. It's the most minor gripes. Also, final complaint is one enemy type. It's a new enemy type. There are these doors that come to life, and you have to jump on top of them to stun them, and they close their door. And to defeat them while they're stunned, you have to open the door and they die. It's more annoying than it sounds. It is.
That sounds weird and awkward and satisfying.
I don't like it. I do not like it. The boos are back, and you defeat them with light as you normally do.
Sure.
Bubbles can't defeat. Nothing else can defeat them. No bubbles.
Well, they can float on their own. They basically are bubbles.
Well, they can't be sucked up by bubbles. Well, bubbles are liquid and gas. Boos are all gas because they're ghosts. Oh, excuse me.
There could be some liquid there from the atmosphere.
Are they absorbing the humidity in the poos? Well,
maybe.
Technically. But yeah, those there's not many gripes. Now, I will say the uninspired boss fights were the biggest hit. Because if it was just the doors and some of the badges, this would be a 9.8. But because the uninspired Bowser Jr. fights, or as I call him, BJR, he's BJR. Bowser Jr. Fine, I'll just call him Bowser Jr. Stop making that face.
BJ.
And the stupid conveyor belt levels. I think they could have thrown in some boom booms. They could have thrown in some pom poms. They could have thrown in a lewd.
The boom boom poms when you need them.
You know who boom boom is, right?
No.
Look up boom boom and look up pom pom.
Are those the other kids?
I think they are technically Bowser kids. Yes. They've been in a lot of Mario.
Oh, I know Boom Boom.
Yeah, look up Pom Pom. Pom Pom
is Pom Pom the pink one? Oh yeah, I've seen Pom Pom.
But not to be confused with the other Bowser kid, who's the girl. I forgot her name.
Pink hair.
Yeah, what is the Bowser girl?
I'm looking up right now.
Larry, Lemmy, Ludwig.
Wendy.
Wendy. She's the only one of those. Oh,
She's hideous.
yeah, Wendy. She's not in this game either. There's no Bowser kids, except for Bowser Jr.
You know, I don't like the Bowser kids, so I think that would have been a bonus point for me.
A Boom Boom and Pom Pom, I would have been okay with. I would have liked a Boom Boom and a Pom Pom section. There was one Wonder Seed, quote unquote, boss fight where it wasn't a boss fight. You had to just stand there and survive for like a certain amount of time, and then the thing it's a statue in the background shooting fireballs at you, and you just have to survive for like 20 seconds. It wasn't hard. It was very.
Was it fun?
It was fun in the moment, yeah. Going back to do it again, probably not.
Fair enough.
I think this game has a lot of replayability. I think this game is definitely going to make it into Super Mario Maker 3 with its mechanics, and we're going to see insane stuff from it. And I cannot believe I'm saying this. This needs to be in the Game of the Year contender docs.
That's big praise.
I firmly believe it. I have seen complaints that the game is too short. It is a short game. I've got 15 hours in Super Mario Wonder. 15. That's not very long. Okay.
Pretty short.
Yeah, it's very short, but it didn't need to be like for a game to be good. Look at Stray. One of my favorite games of 2022. It's a 10-hour game, and I think that deserved Game of the Year.
Here's the thing, though. For me, a Game of the Year contender needs to have two things. It either needs to have a really strong and good story, or it needs to be introducing something new. And for me, like Assassin's Creed, I wouldn't put an Assassin's Creed game on Game of the Year because it's a recycled formula with something new. And if it had a really powerful story, maybe, but it didn't. Whereas like Mario Wonder doesn't really have a story, which is fine, but like also the formula isn't really anything new. It's more like, are those new things specific? Are those new things good enough to make it Game of the Year on their own?
I think the Wonder Seeds make them because the way I see it, the Wonder Flowers, the way I see it is they created a level and they said, okay, here's the level. Now let's make a second layer level above it if they grab this thing, and it's a completely different level. Some of these Wonder Seeds turn you into enemies. I was a Goomba for a good 3 of them, like trying to traverse. I think it's something you have to experience, but I know 2D platformers are not your thing.
That's probably where I'm coming at it too, right? Kind of discredited because I'm like, yeah, but like, I don't know, turning into a Goomba or like having like random things is cool, but like there's a lot of games that do cool things, but I still want to be like,
yeah.
But also I just don't care for 2D platformers that much, so I think I'm biased. I'm not an objective opinion.
I also had the same bias from last year because I thought Elden Ring didn't deserve Game of the Year, but in retrospect, it probably did.
It Takes Two win?
No. Elden Ring won Game of the Year.
No, It Takes Two won Game of the Year.
No. I think that won Best Co-op Game 2022.
It Takes Two won Game of the Year.
I'm looking at it. Elden Ring. Yeah, Elden Ring won Game of the Year.
And It Takes Two. Oh, 2021 winner was It Takes Two.
Yes. Okay.
So it did win Game of the Year. I'm not crazy.
I thought something else won 2021. I believe you. I just can't remember I didn't remember 2021.
It Takes Two wins Game of the Year at the Game Awards.
I'm going to say Game of the Year this year is going to be the most crazy Game of the Year we've had in a very long time because we've had Hogwarts Legacy. We have had Tears of the Kingdom. We've had Mario Wonder.
Baldur's Gate
3.
Starfield
will not be considered. I don't think it's going to.
I know, but a lot of people will want it to be, and it was a big release either way.
It was a big release. Alan Wake 2 could be considered. Resident Evil 4 could be considered.
Oh, Resident Evil 4 should be on there. I really think Resident Evil 4 should be on there.
And we have more. Super Mario RPG in a few days.
Assassin's Creed also, but yeah, I wouldn't put that as Game of the Year contender.
Yeah. Like this,
I don't know.
We got to save this for next time.
Yeah, we are going to have a game of the year discussion. It will be interesting to see. I am more like, I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of like watching the Oscars or the Grammys or something where I'm like, I don't really trust your opinion. But thanks for telling me what you thought was the best game.
That's very true. I will agree there. I will contest there.
They didn't pick Ghost of Tsushima for Game of the Year, and like,
how can I trust?
Was that 2021 when It Takes Two won, or was it something else? Was it The Last of Us 2?
I think it was Last of Us 2, and all of us were like, "What?" Ghost of Tsushima release date was 2020.
2020.
Yeah. Okay, so 2020 game of it was Last of Us Part. That's right, because I even was with you like, this is dumb.
I would have picked Bug Snacks preferably.
Oh,
like,
dude,
even over The Last of Us Part 2.
I'm just gonna say this. We haven't had this good of a year in gaming since either 2013 or 2008. It was probably both. We have had rock solid releases over and over again, but we'll talk about that next time. We're going to jump to the after party. Thanks for listening to my thoughts. Mario Wonder 9.2, very solid 9.2. It has fluctuated between a 9.3 to 9.6, and then I landed on a 9.2 at the end. It's been all over the place.
I love that you went from 9.3 to 9.6, and you're like, forget it, worse than the original one I thought it was going to be.
As I
down
played
even
more,
lower.
To be fair, I think it's this last level that's given me so much stress.
Where you're like, we lost 0.1 of a point for this level, man.
If I missed anything, let me know down in the comments. I probably missed a lot. I got to beat that final gauntlet. You can find Emily on her Twitch channel, twitch.tv/EmilyJane33rd, if she ever decides to go live. You can find me on
I got a lot of games I've been wanting to play.
Emily, you and I need to set up Four Swords Adventure for this month.
We do.
That, should we aim for next week?
No.
Okay, we should aim for the week after.
I have family in town next week.
Fair enough.
Then you're in town. You're in town the following week.
Only for a weekend.
All right. Well, we'll talk.
Okay. You can find me at twitch.tv/thebeardedblake show. I go live every Tuesday and Thursday and every other Wednesday, because the other Wednesdays I'm doing this.
You listen to him brag about his like consistent schedule.
And then almost every Saturday as well.
You won't be playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey this week if you're like me and you were like, man, I can't wait for some more Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and then you looked at the weekly schedule and you were like,
Saturday was TBD. Saturday is up between Dreamlight Valley or Odyssey.
Dreamlight Valley, but Odyssey. But like for real, make it Odyssey.
We'll figure it out this Saturday. We're going to jump to the after party. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, ring-a-ling, the ding-a-ling bell so you get notifications every time we post a video. What?
I was saying thumbs up for the like, and then I was going to do like a little like ding for the alert, but like I couldn't think of a logical way to do that. And so I ended up with this good like,
comment, and subscribe. We'll go to the after party. Bye, everybody.
Bye.